Alrighty guys, it's Zante back with more Dokkan Battle. So, in my last video, I talked about the new upcoming Global First LR UI Goku. They basically dropped his super attack animations on us and his stats for the most part. And in that video, I kind of went on a couple of tangents while also just kind of looking at the card over for my first time, like really getting into depth with it and just my first impressions, I guess. But during that video, I made a couple of tangents and I talked about things, and one of the things that I talked about was, is this guy going to dethrone the Blue Fusions? And this video is mainly going to be going more into depth on that topic, since I have given it like a lot more thought, and I think that this guy could possibly be on par, but I still think that the Blue Fusions are better. However, this guy is definitely going to be top 3, I believe. I mean, it might even be top 2, because I put the Blue Fusions both as number 1, which is kind of cheating. Like, how can you have number 1 be occupied by both units? But it's just how I do things, because they're so good, and I don't really feel comfortable putting one above the other when we talk about the Blue Fusions. That's another subject on its own, but... So, let's just kind of take a look at UI Goku right now, the LR UI Goku. Because we won't really know the full scope of how he plays out until we get him in game and we get to test him out and we get to bring him everywhere. But just looking at his stats and his passive and his effects, we can kind of extrapolate, I guess, how good he will perform and what kind of things he could be doing. And we can compare that directly to the Blue Fusions, which we know how they perform. They're incredible. They are the best units in the game. So let's just get into it. So there are other things to talk about with this guy, but we're gonna go right into his passive first. So he gets an unconditional attack and defense plus 77%, and that is a permanent buff. That already makes him incredibly tanky. He is an LR, and none of his abilities really, like, he doesn't stack defense or attack on super, but him having this no condition needed for 77% to attack and defense is great for his defensive abilities. And then where he really shines is in his dodging, where he gets a great chance of evading enemies' attack, including super, for 7 turns from the start of turn, and a great chance equates to 70%. Now, that is equivalent to both STR Whis, the one that dropped with the physical Beerus, and it is the same, I believe, as the Int UI Goku that we currently have, transforming from Ultra Instinct Sign to Master Ultra Instinct, the Int version. And I know the whole meme of, like, he doesn't dodge no matter what. I am fairly certain that that Goku also has a 70% chance to dodge attacks, and yet a lot of people say, well, he doesn't dodge at all. Well, you see, the problem with that is that the Int UI Goku that we currently have has no defense whatsoever. So, I mean, the reason why Whis is considered like one of the best, if not the best, defensive units in the game is because he does so many things to increase his defense, even if he, like, I believe he increases defense if he doesn't dodge, or is it if he does dodge? I know if he dodges, he dodges. If he doesn't dodge, I believe he stacks his defense up. To be completely honest, I don't really know. I should have looked that up. But the STR Whis isn't really what we're talking about. It's just more of his dodge chance. Now this UI Goku, the LR1, is getting a 77% boost unconditionally to his defense, always. Now that is already a huge step up from the Int UI Goku, and is going to be a huge boon to this guy defensively. He's essentially going to be dodging around 1 in 4. Yeah, around a 1 in 4 chance. No, there's a 1 in 4 chance of him not to dodge in the beginning 7 turns of his passive. I really worded that messed up. but you get it. So in the beginning, he gets a 70% chance to dodge, and that's essentially 3 out of 4 enemy attacks are going to be dodged. And that does drop after the 8th turn to 50% because it drops from great chance to high chance after the 7th turn. And that basically brings that down to about half of attacks are going to be dodged and half are going to be landed. However, that is a boon for his passive to be able to dodge always, not losing that dodge chance after those 7 turns. It is reduced, however, his passive continues with an additional key +1 up to 7, and then attack and defense plus 11%, up to 77% with each attack evaded. So when you look at that, if he dodges 7 attacks, his passive is going to be fully built up, and he will have an 144% boost to his defense. I mean, as well as his attack, but mainly his defense. So he's going to be really tanky. I believe, I guess fully rainbowed, his defense would be around 150k without any support. What is his defense? My guess is his defense will be around the 130 to 150k range without support when this passive is fully built out, and that is incredible. That is on the high side for LRs, and having a 50% chance to dodge on top of that, because you're most likely going to get his passive fully built up when his dodge chance goes from great to high, when it decreases from great to high. But still, having like 140, 150k defense with a 50% chance to dodge is super good. So defensively, this dude isn't really a slouch. He is no slouch. And offensively, this guy is pretty incredible. We talked about the Realm of Gods. He's a Realm of Gods leader with key 4 and attack and defense and HP, so stats plus 130%. And that is pretty good. I actually like the key 4 leaders because, like, my experience with running a dual Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku as my leaders on a Super Saiyan team instead of the Namek Goku is that you get to super all the time. Like, you are not going to not super with Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku if you're running 2 of them as a leader. And with this guy, if you run 2 of this guy as leader for your Realm of Gods team, which you might want to consider considering this guy is probably... He's not probably the best because the Blue Fusions are on Realm of Gods, but he is within that like top 3-ish range. So having 2 of them isn't a bad idea, but that's already 8 key if you're running 2 of him. And then he has Prepared for Battle, Over in a Flash, and Tournament of Power. Tournament of Power is plus 3 key, Over in a Flash, plus 3 key, Prepared for Battle, plus 2 key. Like, you're gonna activate some of his key links. I mean, you might not always get Tournament of Power, but you should have Over in a Flash and or Prepared for Battle. So already, you're gonna be dropping 12k supers like it's nothing, and then with this passive, when it's fully built up, plus 7, you wouldn't, like, even if you don't have any key links, this guy would still be able to 12k super easily. I mean, the way I see it is this guy is pretty much gonna be 18 key supering by default. If you build your team right, he's basically going to have an 18 key super every turn once his passive is fully built. And that is incredible. And considering that, looking at his super attacks here, both of them disable enemies' guard, which I believe just means that the type advantage doesn't matter, so it's basically saying effective against all types. This guy is going to be supering that is effective against all types, no matter what. And he's going to be hitting super hard with that 144% attack buff on top of his already pretty impressive attack stat. He would be getting, like, he should get around 5,000 if he's fully maxed out Rainbow in his Hidden Potential system. He's going to be getting extra. He's going to be around 23,000 attack. Like, that's a pretty high attack stat. So, I mean, this dude is just like a cannon, but he's not a glass cannon. This dude's gonna be, like, supering all the time, dodging, has a great defense stat when he is fully built up from his passive. He's really good. He is, I'd say he's like a jack of all trades, I guess. I mean, I guess not, because he is pretty, like, he's not a master of defense. And I'm pretty sure the blue fusions might hit harder than him when they're fully built up. But this dude is just super solid. He's on a lot of good teams. Realm of Gods, which might be the best team. I'm not entirely sure. It's tough. Realm of Gods is really good. You know, Pure Saiyans also is a contender for probably the best team in the game. Goku's family always gets stronger. They drop Goku units like crazy, and every single one has a buff to this category. And it just always improves. Then Kamehameha, which is a really good category in itself. He's not on Last Resort, which is also a contender for best category in my opinion. It's a super stacked category. But yeah, this guy overall is just really solid. So here I have the Dokkan Wiki. And I apologize if you went from like a dark screen to this bright screen. But we're gonna take a look at the blue fusions. We're gonna start with Gogeta here, mainly because he's the first one that I have up here. So his passive, I mean, it takes time to build them up. You gotta look at this blue form. So his passive being an additional attacking defense plus 7% with each attack performed up to 77%. So you need to attack with him 11 times, right, to fully build up his passive. Attacking defense plus 77%. Start of turn, key plus 5. Launches an additional super attack. Plus, so he's gonna get a double super always. Plus an additional, yeah, so you gotta build him up. And then attacks are effective against all types as a first or second attacker in a turn. Launches an additional super attack and a high chance of evading. High chance being 70%. Wait, high is 50%. I'm sorry. My brain is just kind of lagging right now. But he has a 50% chance to dodge as a third attacker in a turn. And don't forget this guy's active skill. I don't believe we know if this guy has an active skill. I don't believe he does, or I'm pretty sure we would see it here. But I mean, this guy, he's on a lot of good categories as well. He's also on Realm of Gods. He's on Transformation Boost. He's on Movie Heroes, which is decent. Fusion, not the best. Kamehameha, good. Last Resort's incredible. And he leads Last Resort, which is a great category. So, I mean, this guy is just incredible. He's, of course, one of like the best unit in the game, so how could he not be? However, before he transforms, he's nothing really special, right? Raises attack on super, key 3, and then launches additional attack. It has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, so medium is 25, right? Yep. High chances of evading enemies attack 50% as a third attacker. So before he's built up, and it goes to the same for Vegito. However, so when these guys are not transformed, they're not blue, they're not the best units in the game. This guy is the best unit in the game. This guy is not the best unit in the game. This guy is the best unit in the game. But even as base form Vegito and Gogeta, they are both, fairly solid. They're not like terrible units. They're just not anywhere near as good as when they're blue. So looking at Vegito, he's basically the same thing. So attacking defense plus 77%, start a turn, key 2, and launches an additional super attack plus an additional key plus 1, and attacking defense plus 7% with each attack performed up to key 5, and then stats, well not stats, but attacking defense up to 77%. That's the first or second attacker in a turn. So you gotta make him be the first or second attacker in a turn for him to build up his passive. And then launches an additional super attack and a high chance of evading enemies attack, 50%, including super attack as the third attacker in a turn. So again, this guy is incredible when he's fully built up. He will be tearing, events apart when he's fully built up. However, a lot of events won't really get you there. Like, you won't really be fully built up unless you're on those like super long events. like Legendary Goku event, where they could actually have enough time to attack that many times. It's tough to say. Right now, I'm just kind of thinking, like, I believe I made a comment saying how I think this guy is better in the short term than in the long term, because these guys are incredible if they're fully built up, which is the long term. And this guy, I was thinking if he drops to just a like 50% chance to dodge, would he be too frail to go in those long endurance events like Legendary Goku event and such? But I'm thinking that this guy would still be good even in the Legendary Goku event, and I was thinking that this guy wouldn't be good because UI Goku can disable dodge, and that would hurt this guy. But thinking about it more, like, his defense is probably good enough to, you know, withstand the, like, you know, Blue Goku and beyond Legendary Goku event. But this guy is already going to be great for Easy A's, Battlefield, Infinite Dragon Ball History. Did I miss anything? And I say he would be good in Legendary Goku event. Super Battle Road. Maybe not Extreme Super Battle Road. But Extreme, like, we won't really have to worry about Extreme Super Battle Road until the anniversary, because we don't have it yet. But yeah, I think this guy would be pretty much good anywhere you take him. And earlier on, he outclasses the Blue Fusions before they transform. So just base form Gogeta and Vegito. It's a tough call. But my overall, like, how I feel is that this guy is easily top 3 if you don't keep these guys as together as joint top 1. And he might even be good enough to... No, I don't think he could outclass either of these guys. Like, I personally think that Gogeta is just a tiny bit better than Vegito, but I keep him as joint 1, so this guy is definitely number 2 for me. But yeah, this guy, he's definitely like one of the best units in the game. I don't think he's better than the Blue Fusions, mainly because when they're fully built up, they're just ridiculous. But this guy comes out just slugging, and his defense, especially with that 70% chance to dodge, is really, really good. Yeah, I'd say this guy is pretty much like a jack of all trades, though. Not a master of defense because he doesn't stack it, or he's not like S tier or Whis in that level, but he is a very solid unit on the offensive and defensive side. Yeah, I'd settle with he's their second best unit in the game. So, yeah, that's gonna be this video. I might have more to talk about this guy in the future, so if you enjoyed, stick around for more content that I will be putting out soon. Until then, though, guys, my name is Ante, and I will see you guys in the next video.